everyone. We are in the middle of summer. The temperatures are soaring. It's hot, it's humid outside, or it's hot and it's really dry, depending on where you live. And everyone knows you have to wear your SPF under your makeup every day. Well, whether or not you wear makeup, you should be wearing your SPF on your face and body every day, especially in the harsh rays of summer, if you want to prevent skin cancer and premature aging. We all know that. It's been drilled into our heads forever. But, you know, despite that, a lot of us tend to skip facial sunscreens because they're greasy, they're thick, they leave a white cast. We just hate wearing them. You know, our makeup doesn't wear as nice, it slides off. But worse, what I always found was that feeling by like 1 or 2 o'clock of that really heavy, greasy feeling where you just can't wait to go home and wash your face. Trust me, guys, I've been struggling with combination to oily skin my entire life. I know what it's like. I know what it's like to try every facial sunscreen under the sun, never find anything you're 100% satisfied with. You know, you usually end up settling for something that is okay. It's not as bad as something you tried before, but you know, it's not the worst thing. You just kind of just do what you can. Well, you know what? Have you ever thought of or considered Japanese sunscreens? These babies are awesome. I've been using Japanese sunscreen on my face for about 10 months now, and I tell you, I would never go back to purchasing an American-made sunscreen for the face. These products are very, very light and cosmetically elegant, but they also really, really do protect your facial skin. If you know anything about Japanese women and their obsession with skincare, these ladies are like porcelain dolls, living porcelain dolls, and we're talking women that are in their 60s and 70s that look like they could pass for 40. They are obsessive about sunscreens. They are obsessive about protecting their skin from the sun. They know what they're doing over in Japan. So this video is all about the 3 sunscreens that I've been using for the past 10 months that I absolutely love. I started obviously when the weather was colder, but they have proved to be awesome even now in the summertime. Well, even more so now in the summer when it's really disgusting outside. I'm telling you, these are awesome. If you're interested in learning more, stay tuned. So these are the 3 sunscreens that I have been using on my face. They were very, very well received on the internet and on Amazon.com where I purchased them. I'll break them down for you 1, 2, 3. And please know, you guys, I'm a normal to combination skin type. I'm not as oily as I was in my youth. However, I think a combination to even an oily skin type would love all 3. Kind of just depends on what your activity is going to be that day you're wearing it, how oily you are, what you know, use in conjunction with these products makeup wise. That'll all determine how well these wear. But I tell you what, these hit it out of the ballpark for anyone that struggles with oily breakthrough during the day and hate the feel of regular sunscreen on their face, especially under makeup. And what's nice about all 3 of these is they do work as awesomely as a makeup primer. I cannot talk today. They work awesomely. They work great as a makeup primer. So the first one I'm going to talk about to you guys today is, well, you know what, before I talk about the sunscreens, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk a little bit about the Japanese skincare ratings and what they mean. So we're all used to the SPF, gross. We're all used to the SPF sun protection factor on all of our US sunscreens, and it's similar in Japan as well. You've got a sun protection factor. That is what protects your skin against the UVB, the burning rays of the sun, and it basically determines how long you can be outside without burning. I believe with a 50 you can be out for a period of anywhere from 3 to 4 hours without reapplication, without burning. Don't quote me on that. I'm not sure the actual time frame, but I do know it's longer than, say, an SPF 15. But I digress. In Japan, they've got something called a PA+++ rating. And what it basically means, it's based on their system of what's called persistent pigment darkening. So basically, Japanese women are obsessed with keeping their skin as white and free of pigmentation as they possibly can. So this was a takeoff on that type of idea, like how it protects your skin from developing pigment and darkening in the sun. So the more pluses you have, I don't know if you guys can see that, but the more pluses you have on your PA rating, the better it protects you against forming pigment and getting those dark sunspots. And the PA is also a way of thinking about the Japanese skincare when they talk about UVA. Now, if you see a PA with that is new in Japan as of 2013, I believe, and that is the highest level of UVA protection you can get. So when you see the PA with the 4+ signs, you know that that is the highest rating you can get. And that's usually what you want to look for, especially if you're worried about premature aging. So I hope that clears that up for you. Once again, I will say that these Japanese sunscreens are chemical-based sunscreens. They are not physical-based sunscreens. So that means that the chemicals need to be absorbed into your skin at least 30 minutes prior to any sun exposure. Most of us aren't, you know, throwing these on and then running right out the door. You know, we're getting ready, so usually that's not a problem. But just know that that is the case. They are chemical-based sunscreens. All three of these sunscreens, you guys, are not greasy in any way, shape, or form. They are very cosmetically elegant for the normal to combination, especially oilier skin types will absolutely love. You will appreciate this texture. It's really gorgeous. So why don't I break down the three for you and explain the differences. So the first one I'm going to show you guys is called the UV Perfect Milk. Now this one is a little bit more for heavy duty activity outside, you know, water sports, things like that. If you are very sweaty or extremely oily, I think you would prefer the texture of the Perfect Milk. This leaves a slight white cast. If you put any kind of powder or makeup on top of it, you won't really notice that. But this guy is awesome for, again, normal to oilier skin types. It does not leave a greasy residue on the skin at all. In fact, it's very, very runny. It feels almost like a watery, kind of like a serum. So just be careful the first couple times you use it. It does come out of the dropper top there pretty quick, so just keep that in mind. I usually buy 2 or 3 at a time when I purchase them, and I tell you what, I just use this for face and neck, and 2 bottles can usually last you probably about 2 to 3 months, depending on how often you're going out and you know, how often you're using it. Great primer under makeup. The second sunscreen I'm going to show you guys is called the Biore UV. This is the Aqua Rich Whitening Essence. It's SPF 15 and it's a PA rating of 4+. This is my favorite of the bunch. This is slightly, well, I shouldn't say slightly, it is more hydrating than the Perfect Milk by Biore. It's not as runny. It almost feels like a really light serumy gel texture, and I feel like it does give me a nice sense of hydration, and I do appreciate that because, you know, in the summer you can be oily, but you can also be dehydrated at the same time, and this gives you like a light little veil of moisture without feeling like you're a grease ball. With this one, it's got chamomile extract for whitening. I didn't really notice any whitening of some of the spots and freckles that I do have, but you know, it's a nice little ingredient to have. I'm not buying it specifically for the whitening property. I didn't really notice it. Maybe, you know, you would notice some whitening. I didn't. But as far as the feel of having something that feels like a serum but is a powerhouse sunscreen, this thing is awesome. The last one I'm going to show you guys is from a Japanese brand online. It's called Hada Labo. This is the UV 50. This is the UV Creamy Gel. Of all the three, this is the most hydrating. So if you are a normal to dry, but still hate greasy sunscreens, you probably really will love this one. Look at my notes. It's not sticky. It leaves no white cast of any kind, and it is water resistant. All three of these, you guys, are water resistant, but you know, obviously during heavy activity and sweating, you would want to reapply. All three of these, you guys, awesome under makeup, great primer for under makeup. I found my makeup really does last a lot longer when I use any one of the three, and depending on how hydrated or dehydrated I feel, I'll just, you know, switch back and forth between these. My absolute favorite for the texture is the UV Rich Whitening Essence. This one kind of falls between the two. This would be the lightest texture, the medium texture, and this is the heaviest texture. But when I say heavy, I mean, by no means mean to say that it's super heavy. I've used like seriously all of this. I can't even show you guys anything on my hands, but this is really nice stuff. So Japanese sunscreens, you guys, they're really the way to go. You should research these products on Amazon, check them out online. They are very cost effective compared to a lot of higher end sunscreens out there, like in Sephora's and our department stores, which are way more expensive and way more greasy. So I definitely think you should check them out. I think you'll like them, and you can thank me later. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below, and I'll see you soon. Bye.